So now that our bird can pay attention to whether it comes in contact with a pipe or the ground, we want to see some change in the bird, some expression. So to do this, what we're going to do is jump back into our bird actor, and we're going to create a brand new rule, which is very simple. This rule is going to say when attribute bird hit is yes, then we want to simply change the image of the bird. So in the do section, we're going to type in the word change image. And all we need to do is select the image that is bird crash. So very simple language here. When bird hit attribute is yes, then change the image to bird crash. So let's test that out. So preview this. My bird is flying along. And then the minute my bird comes in contact with a pipe, bird hit changes to yes. And then of course we change our image and lose our ability to fly. So that's working perfectly. So the other things we want to do is add in some audio. So we'll create a brand new rule. Well, actually we can piggyback off of this rule as well. So we don't have to create new rules. See, we can add multiple attributes in here. So we'll just piggyback off of this rule. So when bird hit is switched to yes, we're going to change the image, but we also want to play a sound. So we can type in sound here, or better yet, we can go into our sound and image tab, and we can drag in this bird hit short and drag and drop it right on that box there. So you can see now when bird hit is switched to yes, we not only change image, we should also play the sound. We don't want it to run to, we do want it to run to completion, but we don't want it to loop. So let's test this out. So we should get a small little tick sound when our bird hits a pipe. And we do. Perfect. So we want another sound in here, which is this failed trumpet sound, so we can drag that in there as well. So we get these two sounds playing. We'll preview that. One's kind of like a game over sound. Let's try that one more time. So we get that hit sound and that game over sound, but the only problem is that this kind of trumpet game over sound is a little bit overpowering. So what we want to do is delete it for right now. So I'm just going to delete this. So we only have that hit sound. And what I want to do is add in a little bit of delay for the trumpet sound, maybe half a second. And the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to go down to this area and I'm going to type in timer, which is going to add a timer to the bird hit yes rule. And I'm going to say after 0.5 seconds, run to completion, then I want to play a sound. And now I can drag in that trumpet sound into the timer itself. So it's very important that you drag this right into the timer. That way, when bird hit is switched to yes, we play this sound immediately, but then 0.5 seconds later we play this other sound. That way we can hear the hit sound first. Let's try that out. So bird's flying along. We should hear the hit well. Perfect. So there's a slight delay. And just to show you that a little bit more, let's switch this to 1.5 seconds. I'll preview that. Perfect. Now the one last thing I want to show you before we finish up is working with the collision shapes with each one of these actors. So if I jump back into my scene real quick and I were just to drag, let's say, a pipe into my scene here just to kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about, you'll notice that the bounding area of the pipe, meaning this graphic area doesn't exactly match the pipe itself. And that's because everything in GameSalad is either represented by a circle or a square, and the kind of the distance of that square circle is the kind of largest parts of the graphic. So for instance, you can see that this pipe fits perfectly here with its bounding box, but then as the pipe comes inward, we can still see that there's this square representation here. And the same is true with the bird. So if we click on the bird actor, you can see it's even more obvious here that our bird is round, but the collision area for our bird is completely square, which means that if this part of the actor were to come in contact with the pipe, then you're actually going to have a collision, which isn't going to make a lot of sense to the game player because it's going to look like the bird didn't hit the pipe. But as far as GameSalad is concerned, the actor image of the bird did hit the pipe, and then you're going to get a crash for your bird. So what you want to do is change the collision shape for the bird from square to circle. And the way we do this is we need to go ahead and click on our bird, and then in our attributes you can see there's this actor tab down here that we're going to click on. And you're going to see that if we scroll down, there's this physics tab. And if we open that up, you have a collision shape. So we can switch this from its default rectangle to circle. Now, if I were to click on the bird again here inside the stage, we still get this square bounding box. But the collision shape has actually been turned into a circle. So if we were to just draw a circle from the top of this box to about there, we get a much more accurate collision shape. So it's not exact because GameSalad doesn't pay attention to your image, but it does pay attention to square or circle collisions. So it means our bird can get a lot closer now, maybe about there, before it comes in contact with the pipe, and then it's going to be a lot more realistic to the user playing the game. So you're going to want to make sure that you switch your bird's collision type from square to circle.